My name is Malek from Knack Training, and now that I'm back from paternity leave, let's start back up this everyday office thing. Today's everyday office video is about using lookup columns in Microsoft SharePoint. So imagine a scenario that you're in the training department, and on the training department, you decide to create a new calendar to track the courses that the training department is going to put on. So I might go to the gear, top right-hand corner, go down to Add an App. Then I'll right down here, choose Calendar, and I'll go ahead and call this one Course Calendar, and hit Create. Okay, so I'll be creating a new course calendar, and of course I can go to this calendar and start adding new elements to it. So I could go to the 15th, for example, hover on top of the 15th, and use the Add button to put a new calendar item. Let's say this was something like a PowerPoint training in conference room A. And the training was going from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, let's say that for our training, we regularly bring in outside contractors. Well, those people might not be in our system for contact information and things like that. And so I could put in here, oh, we hired Neil Malek and his phone number is 818, yada, yada. But you start realizing, okay, well, if every time I schedule Neil to come out for PowerPoint training, I have to reinsert his details so that the people who are coming to the training can call him or can email him, then that's sort of it's a shortcoming of your overall system here. But you could easily take Neil's information and the rest of your contractors and put them into a contact list. So let's try that out. I'm going to go ahead and close this down and hit the gear, top right-hand corner, choose Add an App, and I'll make a new contact list. So I'll make this, let's call this Contract Instructors. Okay, and I'll click Create. And now I have a contract instructors list right there. Great. And I could start to add people to it. So I'll go to edit this list. Now, how is it that I'm going to connect together this contract instructors list with my course calendar that's over here? How am I going to take that information and dump it into new courses that I schedule on the course calendar? The answer, as I've discussed, is the lookup column. And the idea behind the lookup column is that I'd have a drop-down menu of the possible entries from the list, contract instructors, when I go into my course calendar. Now, to make this as easy as possible, I'm going to go back to my contract instructors. And I'm going to add a column with their full names. I could also add a column with like their ID numbers or anything else that I could use to uniquely identify them. But considering there's probably more than one contract instructor with the last name Anderson, I need something a bit more specific than just Anderson. So what I'll do right here is I'll go up to the list menu at the top of the screen, click on Modify View, and on the Modify View menu, I'm going to make sure to click the checkbox here for, let's see, full name right there. And full name can go anywhere, but I'll just go ahead and put it first in the list so it's easy for us to see. And that just means that full name, the full name column, will be immediately available to me when I go to this list. There it is. And let's just go ahead and start filling this in. I'll go to edit this list. Like I said, this could be ID numbers or anything else that we can use to say it's Kara Anderson and not Sam Anderson or anything like that. So I'll do Kara Anderson and Neil Malek, and then stop editing the list. There we go. Okay, so those are my entries. And now I can go to my course calendar. On my course calendar, I need a new column. That column can be found under the Calendar tab, under Create Column, right over here. And when I go to Create Column, I'm going to call this one Instructor, right? And instead of allowing you to type in who the instructor is, I'll give you a Lookup drop-down menu. Okay, so if I give you the Lookup column type, I need to go down here and set up the specifics. Is this required information? No, because it might be led by somebody internally. Do this have to be unique values? No, the same instructor might do multiple sessions. Where does it come from? Notice it's just alphabetical order here, which is why contract instructors is automatically there, but you might have to go to this list and find the list that you're talking about. Okay, so in order to pull the information about which instructor, you have to go to contract instructors, and then I want you to go to the column for, as we just talked about, full name. And that's why I filled in that full name option. Again, I could have chosen last name or first name or things like that, but full name is the safest way, I think. Now, once you find the full name of the instructor, what other bits of information do you want pulled over into the calendar? I might say give them the email address and the business phone of that contract instructor so that if the session comes up and they're not there, we can call them. If we're talking about it ahead of time, we might email them, etc. So we just scroll down here to the bottom and click OK. And now when we go in and work with this calendar, again, let's say we go to the 15th, we hover on the 15th and we choose Add. And then I go in here and I say, oh, there's a new PowerPoint training in conference room A, and it starts at 9 a.m. and it goes to 12 p.m. At this point, I don't have to put Neil's information into the description. Instead, I could just go right down here to the instructor drop-down menu and say, ah, yeah, there's Neil right there. Neil's the instructor on this. Hit save. And now not only that, but when I go back to this meeting and I click on it, I can see that Neil's information is here, that I've got a link that goes to Neil's full information, but that I have decided to pull over the email address and the phone number of the instructor. And it's just that easy. And so that's why it can be very useful to create a new set of information in a list in SharePoint and then pull from that using a lookup column.